Hello and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. You made it to Friday, which means you made it to happy hour. And joining me is one of my mentors here at Fox News.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
Mentor, we're peers. How could I mentor you if
He
we're
mentored
peers?
me. I was in junior high school, and he'd already been at Fox for 30 years.
Right? I was watching you on MTV, hoping they get on cable access. That's how different we are. Can I pour this yet? Do we split it?
So I want to explain this beverage because...
Are they a sponsor?
No, not yet.
Welch's?
But Welch's, if you would like to be a sponsor of the happy hour, boy, would we love to have you.
I still use the concentrate. Remember the concentrate, the little thing?
Drink it right down.
Yeah.
You remember the cans?
Yes.
The frozen cans?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I loved that orange juice. Like, it took me a long time to get used to the taste of fresh squeezed orange juice. And I was like, I don't know. This is a little pulpy for me.
Just think how hard everything was in the 70s. We had to make everything. We had to make our own punch, our own Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you had to mix Kool-Aid and like... But my mom did not trust Kool-Aid. She's like, nothing in the wild is purple.
Oh, yeah, right.
So we never got, but I love like going over to rich people's houses because they always had like different Kool-Aid flavors. Oh, that was heaven. So last week for happy hour, I made Jason Chaffetz's fresh squeezed orange juice because he truly doesn't drink. Not at all. I found out he used to be a drinker when he was a much younger man.
Oh, wow.
And he actually drove drunk once. So he told me that story.
Did he get arrested?
On the record. No, he did not.
Oh.
No, I had the cops waiting outside for him.
Right.
Now I don't trust him.
A citizen's arrest. A Kennedy citizen arrest.
Yep. So I figured, so Snoop Dogg is coming out with his own line of gin and juice in a can. So I figured we wouldn't have the gin part because these are mocktails, but we'd have some more...
As a salute to Snoop.
Bottled orange juice as a salute to Snoop because these are mocktails.
Right. By the way, he is not in the news enough.
He's really not.
He really disappears. He needs this boost.
He really does. So this is for our friend Snoop. And then I'll pour a little bit out for my homie. There we go.
Really?
Yep. They'll think it's urine. It's okay. they steam clean this place once a week. Cheers to you, Brian.
Right. And what did I do to get this?
Just
like
mentorship.
Which
mentorship.
Never happened.
To mentorship.
You invented this industry.
Back in the 30s, before we had talkies.
Yeah, radio was so boring before they allowed talking.
Do you taste the orange juice?
Terrible. Is this really? Is this happening? Is there an expiration date on this? Did something terrible happen? Did they cut your budget? Wait, is this grapefruit juice? No, it's orange juice.
I wonder what that bitter flavor is.
It's coming back at me now. It's relentless. It's not giving up.
And that's why I have a career.
Right.
So, Brian, you and I were talking about our sleep scores. Do you get a sleep score?
Yeah, I do.
What was your sleep score last night?
Well, you took my phone. It comes up on my phone. You took it. I mean, you said get at this.
Hold, please. Right. I'll be right. I'll be.
Can someone come in? Is someone watch? Thank you. I mean, come on.
Kate delivered the phone.
What is going on?
We need the sleep score. This is breaking news.
Okay. So are you
feeling a little lightheaded from this orange juice?
Okay. What do you think I got?
I got an 80 last night.
I got a 60.
I felt horrible.
It's pretty terrible. But it took me 6 minutes to fall asleep.
Oh, that's not bad.
My timing was good. My deep sleep was 18 minutes.
Whoa, that's not good at all. Wow.
What was there, like a prowler in the house? Why was I constantly alerted? I mean, should I have gotten another?
Were you sleeping in the subway?
Yeah, it's my restfulness. No, restfulness came out. Pay attention. Did you see that? Look at that. I'm not exaggerating. It says pay attention.
Oh, it really does. Oh, you have a lot of metrics there.
Right. Yeah, this is the Aura ring.
Yeah. So I have my Garmin Fenix Pro watch.
Right.
Which tracks my sleep. And I think this thing is on the fritz because it always gives me a low sleep score. I'll sleep like 9 hours and it'll be like, give it a 50.
Here's my problem with that. You have to charge it and you charge it at night, don't you? So
sometimes.
Okay.
But it goes for 11 days. So it's like,
okay, that's different.
It's a pretty infrequent charge.
Do we need to know all this? You think it's important?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you can measure everything now. You can measure every possible thing. And there's Strava for dogs. So you know what Strava is, like people who run and bike.
Yeah.
It's a way of keeping track of your fitness, how long your workouts were, how fast you were, most importantly, and then you compare it to other people who are also on Strava.
So I'm just fascinated because there's Peter Attia book on Outlive, which is all about longevity and what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, genes are the one thing that's going to get us to live longer. We got to just try to replicate the people that have these genes.
That's good for me. One grandmother lived to 100, the other to 90, but only because she had a brutal hip injury.
Right.
I can't fight.
But you that's fantastic. Yeah. You do get injured a lot, though.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
But now you heal.
I do.
When you get to 90, they just stop. Did they just try?
Yeah, they looked at her, they rubbed some dirt on it, and they're like, just go home.
Right. And?
Well, they gave her 3 months to live. She lived for 15 months after the injury.
Well, that's a good story.
Yeah.
But they say
uplifting?
The whole key is having something to do.
Yes.
I mean, the minute you like gardening, you like pickleball, whatever it is, you like to work, whatever it is, don't stop. Don't let anyone tell you, unless you have a plan, you will die.
Yes.
Bear Bryant, for example, he also drank and smoked. That's probably Bear Bryant.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like a guy you want to party with, right?
Absolutely.
Right. No, I agree with you. But also, the idea of retirement is going to change drastically when people our age start to kind of leave the workforce, because as we're seeing now, which I think is one of my favorite employment trends, they are now hiring back people in their 60s and 70s. Because they're like, no, we need people who desperately want to work, because these millennials and Gen Zers are such a pain in the ass. They want all this time off. Right. They want to hear how great they are. They want to quiet quit. They want this, impossible work-life balance, which to some degree is great. But when you have 80% more life than work, it's unsustainable,
right?
Because it's counterproductive.
You want to have something to do that people need you.
So they want the gummers back in the workforce.
What I don't want, Kennedy, I wanted your scenario to be right. I don't want people to have to go back because they're out of money.
No.
That bothers me. When you're at a McDonald's because I left MetLife too soon.
Yes.
Right.
But you work relentlessly. So if God forbid you were in that situation, you will be fine. I mean, I believe that you have mansions that are made of titanium.
Right. Is titanium
good? Very expensive material.
Right. I mean, that gets into space. That's what they use to go into space, right?
Yep.
Right. I mean, it sounds a little stark. How would you come to my titanium house? There'll be an echo, number one. Constantly an echo. Yeah. Because it'll melt everything. Yeah. I don't really, I think that if you're trying to say I have a house paid off, I would have said, you sound like you paid off your house.
No, like you have a very fancy house made of rare materials that mere mortals can only dream of.
You're just so smart to hold on to a Los Angeles house. Mm-hmm. Not that I had one, but the one thing I made a mistake.
What's that?
I didn't move out.
You still live with your parents?
No, then I didn't
weird.
move.
You have 3 kids.
I didn't like.
They moved out.
We should have got a bigger house, but nobody wanted to move because we know where everything is. But now everyone got full grown, and there's no room.
Was it like a house for little people with like low ceilings and tiny toilets?
When there's 3 little kids running around, the house seems enormous. And then all of a sudden, when those 3 kids bring over and they become adults and going back and forth, they're like, where the hell's the closet space? We have no basement. We have no garage. It's a great house, but there is absolutely no room for people that grew up.
Did you start adding on like garages?
We could, but there's all this, like, I live in one of these towns where nobody in my neighborhood wanted the house built. So they fight you on everything.
Oh, that's the worst.
It is. We went to take a deck and make it a room. I literally spent $4,500 fighting for a room to be built on my house because the people in the neighborhood didn't want it built.
Okay, but the people in the neighborhood need to realize that actually lifts the value of the property. And when your property value goes up, so does theirs.
My argument exactly.
I mean, are they such busybodies they can't be inconvenienced for 10 weeks?
And then I've tried to put it in a pool, small pool.
Yeah. Put it
That's
in
a huge problem.
Did you put it in?
Put it in, but nobody wanted it in.
The dogs need a place to
relax.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly right.
2 Great Pyrenees.
They are the greatest of the Great Pyrenees.
Right. Have you met
Your dogs
them?
Are beautiful.
Right.
No. I know one's name is Willow.
Right.
And the other is Frank.
No.
That's
Apollo. But
right.
Apollo does not know his name. You know why?
Why?
Deaf.
Oh, he's deaf.
Yes. So we could have named him anything every day.
My boyfriend is trying to rename our dog right now, and it's not going over well with my children.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why is he doing that?
Because he's obsessed with the Lone Ranger, so he's renamed the dog Silver.
How about getting another dog?
I would like another dog.
Right. In a million years, I would not remember the Lone Ranger's horse name.
Yeah. Do you know Tonto's horse's name?
Silver too?
It's Scout.
Oh.
Yeah. It's Apollo.
Why does he love the Lone Ranger?
I don't know. I don't know.
Shouldn't you ask that? I mean, is that a deal breaker? No.
Not for me. Yeah. No, it's like I'm pretty easygoing with this stuff.
Do you have a quirk? Do you have any quirky thing?
I have a lot of quirky
Does he have are you still holding some back?
Yes.
Yeah.
So today he was like, "Whoa, you just went full Spurgy."
What is that?
It's a term that Australians use for people with Asperger's syndrome.
Oh.
So.
Do you have that?
To some degree.
You're a bit of a genius then.
Well, I mean, I don't like to brag,
but you are. You know, but is he Australian?
No, he's not. Oh. No, I don't even think he's been to Australia.
So, so it's a phrase Australians use.
Yes, which I think it's not a pejorative. It's a positive phrase.
Right.
Yeah, they have cute nicknames for everything. You know what they call saltwater crocodiles?
Nope.
Salties. Oh, isn't that a sweet name?
They just said they are a stress-free people.
They really are.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
So where I stayed in Australia, right across from the famed Opera House.
Yes, beautiful.
At a great Park Hyatt. I stayed there. And I'm like, well, there were nicer hotels, but in the area, you have a train, you have a trolley, you have a ferry. You literally can get anywhere within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I've never seen such convenience. Like someone really thought about this city.
Yeah, what the hell else are they going to do?
We just gradually built it. We went, hey, the British are here. Who made the roads? And like when the British leave, we're like, well, let's just use their roads, right? And then let's farm. Now let's build a building. Let's build another building. But no one thought of it, the big picture.
Yeah.
You know, what if we get pants that go down our ankles? What if we do have a subway? You know, what if there are planes?
What if we have shoes without little buckles?
Yes, could that happen? And like just some thinker could have thought about that ahead of time. But I just feel like we threw it together. I felt like Australia's like, okay, I saw what the Americans did. Got to look at London. We're going to think this through.
Yeah. So we're going to zone the city properly.
Right.
There will be areas of the city where people will naturally congregate, usually by water.
Right.
So let's exploit those for all the resources we can offer.
Right.
Unlike Boston. Like Boston is impossible to navigate. Boston's like Paris. And I don't mean that as a compliment.
Right.
I love Paris. I've enjoyed my time in Boston, but I will never drive in Boston because it's a real pain in the ass.
Again, it's nobody's idea. Just as you start designing it, you die.
Yeah.
Right? So Ben Franklin's working on it. He dies. What was he? I didn't see his plans. I'll pick it up.
Next thing you know, Grover Cleveland is in there.
You keep it. That's great that you knew that. You keep adding on like a bad puzzle.
Yeah.
And like, but no one's responsible. And just as I get a hold of
pieces don't fit together.
Exactly. And then again, the problem is humans keep dying. Just as we try to rebuild a city, we run out of life.
Yeah. And not Joe Biden. He's going to live forever.
Right. And because he's so healthy.
He's probably going to rewrite the Constitution so he can have a third, fourth, and fifth term.
Right. I mean, he was there the first time, did nothing. Just kind of sat around, cut class.
The Constitutional Convention.
How unbelievable is it that he went to Syracuse and barely showed up and said that he double majored for a graduate school in law school and he got a scholarship, top of his class. Bottom of his class, never showed up. How crazy is that?
Okay, but that was at a time. So he started saying that stuff when his brain stopped recording the passage of time. So he started saying that stuff when you couldn't check.
Right.
You couldn't fact check. So people would just say, yeah, I was in Vietnam. I was in the infantry.
Right.
Yeah, I was in the shit. I'll tell you what. And be like, oh, wow, you're a brave hero. But now you can go with the internet. You can check academic and military records. And that's how we know that Da Nang Dick is a big fat liar. Same with Joe Biden. Like, oh, you're a plagiarist. You actually stole these words from yourself and someone else and didn't give either of you credit.
How crazy is it that Johnny Carson was putting Joe Biden in his monologue in the 80s as a total farce and a fraud? And do you ever see that clip?
No.
Oh, you will love it.
And that's not a deep fake?
No, it's Johnny Carson. He goes, this is Senator from Delaware, from Joe Biden. He just goes on how he made this up and the crowd's laughing.
Wow.
It's a clip that goes around the internets all the time.
God, I should get back on the internet.
Right. You should. You should. Both of them. It's crazy.
Ted Stevens, the internet is a series of tubes.
Did he actually say that?
It's great. There's a great clip of him just screaming that. He's so mad.
The Texas senator.
I think he was from Alaska.
Alaska. Sorry.
And very similar territories. Both secessionists in their own way.
That's a great point.
Thank you, Brian. What do you do when someone comes up to you and doesn't say nice things?
Never happens. Oh, wait a second. It does happen. Should we talk about that?
Yes, we should.
So should we name drop?
Sure.
All right. Charlemagne the God, by the way, we have yet to execute the actual interview, so I'm wondering if that's going to happen.
It'll happen.
But okay. So I was sitting there, thanks to your relationship with Charlemagne the God, your longtime friend. He's
platonic. I don't want people to think that he and I are dating because we're not. That'd be weird.
Right. Because he's married and you're virtually.
Yeah.
Right. With this so-called person.
Nice so-called boyfriend you've never met.
Right.
Sure.
Who has Australian phrases even though he's never been there. Who renames dogs over black and white TV series. So, but Tonto's horse is Scout.
Mm-hmm.
I just fact-checked. I feel like it's the Joe Rogan podcast where he gets that. You need somebody to fact-check in like real time.
In real time.
Like Joe Rogan does.
Well, Kate was doing it with your phone.
So this guy just walks over and he looks like a professional. I mean, he's wearing an open collar shirt.
Very expensive suit.
Yeah, was it? Yeah. He comes over and what does he say first? Does he look at you guys first? Because he works to this side of me.
Yeah. And then so Charlemagne and I are here in one side of the booth as you sit when you're a couple. And then we're facing you like you are going to marry us.
Right.
And, you're our officiant. And we're talking to you about the ceremony.
If platonic relationships were rewarded with marriage.
Yes. If they resulted in marriage. So this guy walks up to you. So I think this guy's a Fox fan who's going, hey, great job. Keep up the good work. And then I see your face change. And I realize that he said something rude. And he's still standing there. The guy's still standing there. And I ask you, what did he say? And you say.
So you have to understand one thing. Charlemagne the God is one of the most impactful people. Well, I don't care if you agree with everything he said or nothing he says. The guy is really impactful. I'm zoned in. And I'm thinking to myself, I feel like it's like a blind date. I'm like saying to myself, should I talk a lot? Should I not talk a lot? Should I let him control it? You are walking in. He's my buddy. So I am zoned in a conversation I normally would not be zoned in on. I just normally, what's going on? If it's just you and I'm just kind of aware of what's going on. Sure. But I was kind of zoned in. So this guy walks over and goes, he didn't even say my name. He just said, hey, go F yourself. So I said, you go F yourself.
Yeah.
And then you went off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's just get this guy out of here. Well, I'm thinking about, let me get back to my conversation.
Yeah.
And you just went off. You nuked this guy. And then he just basically just walks away.
Yeah. And then he had so I'm like, F you, F your mom, you mother effer. What the F did you just say? Oh, you're such a hero. And he goes, hey, I didn't want to ruin your lunch. I'm like, you already ruined our lunch. You did. Just by being alive, you ruined our lunch. And then he goes, I didn't want to interrupt you guys. And then he goes, have a good day. I said, you know what? I'm going to have a great day because I'm not you, because you're a piece of effing garbage and you have to wake up every day as you.
It was brilliant. Yeah. So while you're doing this, Charlemagne looks at me. Do you know what he said? No. He goes, hey, does this happen all the time? I go, not all the time, but I don't really hang out in New York City. And the thing is too, is that most people like us.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when we travel. So you really travel, but like when I book tours, I'll go to 30 cities, sometimes 30 cities. I'll go to 2 in one day. 98% are great. And people will say, oh, it's so much fun. I go, yeah, but at any moment, things can just switch.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that could have been a fight right there. So if I turned up and I stood up, if it was a different time at night, if I had a few beers, but like in the back of my mind is this.
Yeah.
So I could get fired. So let alone, I clearly wasn't the aggressor.
No.
But if I'm there's something goes viral, like AOC the other day. I understand. I'm on her camp. She goes to a theater with her fiance.
Yeah.
And these idiot Palestinians.
No, they're the worst. They're emotional children.
Right. But they could have done it to me.
Yes.
Because they go, that's Brian Kilmeade from Fox. He's evil. He likes Trump. I'm going to follow him around. What are you supposed to do? It's not the rules of 18 years old. Let it fly. Because if I don't want something that is going to live literally for 50 years, so you walk or you engage, but you understand if you engage, it could absolutely get out of control. And should I ever be in a situation where I'm not being threatened. That guy's not a threat to me. If he didn't leave or he hit me, that would be different. Should I be in a situation where I engage and dive in? Because once I go, it is over. And once I do that, what's at stake?
Yes.
So I'm always thinking about that. So is it worth it? I'm always thinking that people are rolling on it.
I hope they were, because I had some good comebacks.
You were good.
Yeah.
You were really good. But
is this a lecture?
Was like, yeah.
Am I in trouble? Is this a lecture? Are you mad at me?
No, I thought you did great.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, but I mean, I just say things could go south.
No, for sure. Yeah. And I've always been taught.
And we were not drinking.
My brother, no, we were not drinking. We were having iced tea. Charlemagne was having water. But my brother always taught me, as a cop, always avoid conflict. It is never worth it. If there is a situation where conflict arises, leave. Get yourself out of there. And I did the and
you did the opposite. You go bigger.
Stephen Baldwin went to MTV Spring Break in 1995. And he had a security guard there with him. And the security guard, like, his words resonated with me to this day. He was like, it is never worth it. There's no winning for you. There's no winning for him. He has a bad temper. That's why I'm here. Always stay out of conflict. It's never worth it. So people I trust have always told me that. And of course, I violated their axioms by doing that. But I thought the guy was such a jerk. And I thought he was such a pussy boy, and with his fancy suit. So if he's a liberal, he can go gargle his mom's balls. And I really, really mean that. And if he's a conservative, he needs to shut up and go think about his life. So, and I couldn't figure out, was he a liberal? Was he an ultra liberal? Yeah, I don't know.
And then what is he referring to? Like, he says, I've had people say, I hate you and I hate your station. All right, now I know exactly where you stand.
Yeah.
But what is he referring to?
Yes.
Like, is it referring to, I had somebody come up to me at the ATM 3 weeks ago. I'm at the ATM and one guy goes, why are you wearing shorts? Because I was just running. He goes, I hope you're working out. It's freezing outside. And he goes, I know who you are. You're Brian Kilmeade. I go, okay. And then I could tell by his voice he wasn't a fan. But you're not going to believe why he wasn't a fan. He goes, how dare you ditch Donald Trump? Have you sold out? You sold out Donald Trump because of all your bosses at Fox. I go, and he comes right up to me while I'm taking out literally taking out money.
That's
so I go,
right.
Back off, knowing every camera they're rolling anyway for security reasons. Us, it's glass. I could have went into the actual bank. So people are seeing something going on. And I'm going, I don't believe it. I am now getting harassed for not being more Trump.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing we're getting, I don't know if you're going to get this, but now there's a Steve Bannon wing of the party. That the other guy, Peter Navarro, you're not right enough for them.
Yes.
So now we're not right enough for the right. Obviously, the center left has a problem. The far left thinks we're the worst thing on the planet.
Yeah, but they're nuts.
I'm not complaining. I'm just
no, but that's the landscape
at any moment.
Yes, that's the landscape that we're dealing with, and I'm never going to make friends with those people. I don't need to make friends with them. I don't want to start a fight with them. But if someone starts something, I will come at them harder than they come at me. And especially if they come after one of my friends.
Right.
If they come after one of my friends, God help them. Like, I'm more likely to walk away if it's just me. But if someone says something to you or anyone else that I'm friends with and care about, they can go fuck themselves.
Right.
Sorry that Kate has to.
Why did I say the F word and you use that word? It's so unfair. I got to host something. I wish I could do that.
I'm now making more work for her.
Okay.
She's going to have to be like,
but
beep,
it was,
beep, beep, beep,
but
like
it was
Morse
crazy.
code.
But thanks to your relationship, I do hope to interview Charlemagne. But somehow along the way, they said, we'll get back to you. We were supposed to be doing it this week. So I wrote him. So I'm hopefully to get that back on track.
Oh, you will. He's lovely. He's a very busy man, which of course you know something about.
Right.
You have.
But he's got multiple businesses.
Yes, he does.
Right. But the one thing he's like me is that we both don't sleep enough because you got stuff going on at night called life, and then you got to get up in the middle of the night called morning show.
I don't know that I could do. I do not have the biology.
Sleep.
Yes.
Well, that's where you're going to live a long time.
I need at least, if I get less than 8 hours of sleep a night, I'm a disaster.
No, you're going to live a long time.
Oh, great.
Because
what's the other thing? So
Peter Attia's book, the one thing he says at the end, he's like, the best thing you can have is sleep. It repairs your body. It keeps your mind.
Great. So I've got
cleanses
sleep on my
your
side.
brain.
Yeah, I've got a cleansed brain.
Right.
Cold showers.
I heard about this.
Yes. So
I hate it though.
But I now love it. So once you start doing it, but the key is with cold showers, you got to start really hot. You got to take a hot shower for 5-10 minutes. And then, yes, because then your body overheats and then you're looking forward to the cold. And then you do 2 minutes and just sort of flip around front and back.
Anthony Robbins says he does this, dives into a plunge pool of ice. He dives down.
I believe it, because he's got to be better than everybody with his banana hands.
But he is better than everybody.
I know. That's the thing. Like, he's tall, he's powerful, he's attractive.
Right.
It's not fair.
Oh, you forgot Rich.
Oh, yes. And he's rich.
All his friends are famous. Even his mailman was once a TV star.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was his mailman. Not even Karl Malone.
I think
Karl Malone was not allowed to be his mailman.
Right. He was not great enough. No. That is such a great 1990s reference to the NBA at the end of Kareem's career. But Kareem played what role in what famous comedy?
He was Roger Murtaugh in Airplane.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a book
Murdoch.
on that. Yeah.
Roger Murtaugh. Yeah.
I didn't know I had a real name, but that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was good. Now what?
Let's have more drinks.
Okay.
That's delicious.
So.
To Snoop. Amen.
And Master P's my guy.
Master P, and making a masterpiece of every day, especially those that are well rested. Thank you for being here, Brian Kilmeade.
Is that my clothes?
Well, do you want to talk about, do you have anything else? Do you have any topics?
Wrong guy. You're thinking of somebody else. Kennedy, thanks for having me on.
It's always great to have you.
All right.
I look forward to the next one.
And the next
Alcohol free.
Right. When do we get started? When do we drink again? Friday.
Yes.
We drink Friday. Yes.
Friday, it's happy hour.
Yep.
This has been Kennedy Saves the World, along with Brian Kilmeade. I'm Kennedy.
Stay within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.